What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to take a look at if Earth Power on GARCHOMP is going to be any good for PvP and raids. As always, timestamps below, let's get right into it. Okay, first off, let's talk about the move Earth Power. As far as PvP goes, Earth Power is a ground type move, has a damage of 90, takes 55 energy, and has a 10% chance to drop your opponent's defense by 1 stage. And it's a 1-bar charge move for PvP. For gyms and raids, it's again a ground type move. Doesn't have any debuff chance, but this time will do 100 damage, and it's a 2-bar charge move for raids. Of course, if you evolve a Gabite into a GARCHOMP during the community day, which is June 6, 11, 5 p.m. local time, and 2 hours after the community day, you will get a GARCHOMP that knows Earth Power. Let's take a look at it. Okay, as far as raids go, GARCHOMP has always been a good dragon and ground type attacker. It won't affect his dragon type attacking, but let's take a look at it for ground. Taking a look at this chart on screen right now, let's take a look at where it sits. This is ordered by DPS, so damage per second. GARCHOMP is going to be taking the number 4 slot behind Shadow Mammoth Swine, Landorus Therian Form, and Excadrill if it has Mudshot and Earth Power as a ground type attacker. You might think that's not that good, but DPS is not all we want to look at. In terms of TDO, which is total damage output, so the total amount of damage a Pokemon puts out in a raid, GARCHOMP with Earth Power is actually ranked number 1 now. So that's insane at 577. As you can see, all the other ones have lower numbers than that. I just want to add that Groudon and Rhyperior are the 2 closest TDO ranking ground type attackers next to this new Earth Power GARCHOMP, ranking at 569 and 564. So these Pokemon are still very close to the new Earth Power GARCHOMP in terms of TDO. Finally, DPS times TDO, which is a general rating of how good that Pokemon is for raids. GARCHOMP flies to the number 1 spot at 2086.5. And again here, Groudon is really close to this new Earth Power GARCHOMP for DPS times TDO at 2062. So only about 20 points away. So Groudon is still a competitor in terms of TDO. This means GARCHOMP is going to be the number 1 overall ground type attacker, number 1 overall TDO attacker, but it's going to be number 4 in terms of DPS. I'll be honest, for most of you, you're going to want to be running full teams of GARCHOMPs because the only time you really want DPS Pokemon is if you're going to be dodging. That's when they take full advantage because you won't be taking as much damage, because most of these high DPS Pokemon like Shadow Mammoth Swine and Excadrill are pretty frail compared to GARCHOMP, which will be putting out a lot of damage. Final thing I want to mention about GARCHOMP and why it makes it such a good ground type attacker is because of its 3 times resistance to ground. Comparing it to other ground types like Rhyperior, Groudon, and Excadrill, these Pokemon only double resist electric type attacks. However, since GARCHOMP also has that dragon typing which resists ground, GARCHOMP is getting that extra resistance to ground, allowing it to survive on the battlefield way longer and take way less damage than any other ground types, making it one of the best ground type attackers because of its simple resistance to electric, which is one of the main times you'll be using ground type attackers. So GARCHOMP flies to the number 1 spot for overall ground type attacker with Earth Power, guys. Get yourself a full team of GARCHOMPs for ground type attacker if you don't enjoy dodging and want a team that can output a lot of damage without you needing to dodge. But if you do like dodging, Shadow Mammoth Swine is going to be your raid attacker to go for ground type. Now let's take a look at it in PvP. So GARCHOMP has always been good in the Master League in PvP. We don't want to look at it in the Great or the Ultra League. GARCHOMP stats are just too high to go into those leagues, and it does better in those high level leagues. During this comp day, we're going to want to get 2 Earth Power GARCHOMPs because there are 2 Master Leagues right now. We have the regular Classic Master League, which is only level 40 Pokemon, so anyone under level 40 can play in that Master League. And then we have the level 50 Master League, which is the regular Master League, and you can put level 50 Pokemon in there. Pretty much any trainer above level 50 can use XL candies to run in that league, but you just want to get yourself 2, even if you're under level 30, just in case in the future. So GARCHOMP in the Master League, you're always going to want to run Mudshot, Outrage, those 2 moves. Your second charge move, you're going to either want to have Earthquake or Sand Tomb, depending on your play option. Sand Tomb is a high energy gaining charge move that will automatically debuff your opponent when you use it. However, it does barely any damage. Earthquake, you guys all know, is that hard hitting earth charge move that can one-shot opponents, especially on a GARCHOMP with that high attack stat. Earthquake can do work. Depending on your play style, if you want to have that quick charging charge move to bait with Sand Tomb and then throw the hard hitting Outrage, or if you just want to have 2 hard hitting moves, the Outrage and the Earthquake, those are the options for GARCHOMP. However, now we have Earth Power, which will slap right in between those 2. Again, taking 55 energy, so more than Sand Tomb, but not as much as Earthquake, and then doing 90 damage, which is a good amount of damage for PvP. Also has the debuff chance. Earth Power might not always be the premier move for PvP in the Master League. However, it does make GARCHOMP more consistent. What consistency means is that it can input more consistent damage. If it had Sand Tomb, it doesn't rely on baiting Pokemon and using Sand Tomb to get their shields, and it also doesn't rely on landing Earthquake and the opponent not shielding them. Instead, we have Earth Power, which we can consistently throw for good damage because it doesn't take that much energy. So if it does get shielded, it's not that big of a deal, but it does decent damage. So if it doesn't get shielded, it will output a good amount of damage. So I'm going to say this. I don't think Earth Power is going to be meta breaking. Correct me if I'm wrong, expert PvPers, but I will think that it will make it easier for the majority of players to run a Garchomp, because it just makes it simpler. It doesn't require on all these advanced techniques like, you know, baiting with Sand Tomb, making sure shields are down so you can close with a Garchomp. I think it'll all depend on your playstyle. So if you love PvP, this is what I recommend. You want to have one Earth Power Garchomp, and then you want to have one Garchomp which you can either run Earthquake or Sand Tomb on. So depending on your playstyle and what you need, like, do you need a closer Garchomp, a Garchomp that's just going to have hard-hitting moves, so you're going to want to run Earthquake and Outrage that you can use when shields are down, or do you want a, you know, lead Garchomp which you can have Sand Tomb on so you can play with baiting and stuff like that, or you just want to have a safe Garchomp you can run Earth Power and just have those consistent hard-hitting moves. That's pretty much my take on Garchomp for PvP, guys. I don't think it's going to be completely destructive because Garchomp is already super strong with Sand Tomb and Earthquake. However, I do think you want to have that variant in case you can run it. I'm going to leave the rankings below once they officially come out for where Garchomp ranks in terms of leads, closers, and overalls in the Master League. So check the pinned comments below, because as of right now, the website's not updated, but that's my take on PvP Garchomp. So yeah, guys, Garchomp, Earth Power, amazing pick. You're going to want to get yourself, of course, 6 of them for raids. You're going to want as high IVs as you can. And then for PvP, again, you're going to have that one variant, but you can use that variant as a raid one too. So really just getting 6 Earth Power Garchomps during the day should suit you fine. But guys, stay tuned for my top tips guide coming closer to the community day date. But for now, guys, remember to stock up some Pokeballs, start getting some pineapple berries ready, all those items you might need for community day, start getting them ready. I've been stocking them for about the past month or so. I didn't even use my Ultra Balls during Swablu Community Day because I wanted to save them for Gible Community Day, guys. So start getting ready. Hopefully you guys will be getting some good Garchomps with Earth Power. Comment below what you think of this move and what move you might have preferred, and follow for more tips. Peace.